Yeah, you're going to Kittyland. Let me show you.
Biggie. 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 Biggie.
What's up, comic collectors? I figured I'd do a little hangout before I eat my lunch. Or while I eat my lunch. So yeah, I'd give y'all a check-in on the Hulk 181. I started off pretty good. I haven't put the most energy into it because the energy I put into it has been discouraging. Much respect to these guys selling books now, because from what I see, it's a lot of the new stuff's getting sold. Back issues are a little harder to sell. I think I'm waiting for taxes, bro. Like I'm not gonna keep selling shit unless I uh run into a good deal. I've seen other mystery boxes. I feel like I can compete with those. I feel like I could do a little better, possibly. Now, Nauman got $100 mystery box. I felt like I did pretty good. I could have gave him a slab or something also, I guess. But I felt like the value was there for the $88, $82 mystery box. So, what up, 22? Good to see you. Yeah, man. I'm just trying to give y'all a little check-in with what's been going on. K-pop. That's what people keep telling me. Wait for the taxes to start rolling. I wonder how much longer that's going to be, because it's just it's like pumping a dry well right now. I mean, I didn't like sell everything. I still got all my books, but it's just like I don't feel like there's a point. I think I saw a Whitman Star Wars 1 go for $15 yesterday. Like, you gotta start doing. Maybe it was a Whitman, maybe it wasn't. I don't know what the fuck it was. I heard Star Wars 1. It kind of looked like a Whitman, but I couldn't tell. Last year was ass for most businesses. Well, this year has been starting off pretty shitty. I mean, I've gotten a couple deals. Um, I had to tell my LCS today that I can't keep paying for books or buying books at the prices they are. Like, I've been selling on eBay, and really good books go for $1 or $2. So when I give you $3 or $4 a book, like, I'm losing money if I was to sell these. I need to see some books in the back before I could even buy anything. Like, I bought 2 books today, and one of them ain't really shit. Like, there's no point in buying anything. I'm almost to the point where taxes come, I'll use tax money to get my book instead of selling, because the money you get from selling is not worth it. I ran into a couple blips I don't like either. I'm not going to speak on them. I'm just going to keep it casual, keep it clean. But it's just some weird shit going on, man. I've been super anxious. I went to the doctor today. You can see my wristband. I got a heart monitor checking my shit today. So for the next 24 hours, I'll be wearing that. And stop buying. Yeah, I've been dealing with family stuff, and it's not the funnest shit. So family stuff gets on people's nerves, and I'm not built for all the bullshit. You know, not built for the bullshit. So I got Melody that Wii U Mini Plus, and Little Shack keeps tearing off the screen protector. Every time he touches it, he wants to rip it off, and I'm like, we just got this thing. Can we please not rip the screen protector off every time we mess with it? And that's about how that's going. You know, we want Little Shack to be able to play with it. I've played with it for like 5 minutes. It's very fun. It's any game you can think of for PS1 down. Um, I just sit here trying to think. There was a game I wanted to play that ain't on it. Like y'all can name off games, and I could probably find it on this thing. It has every Nintendo, Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis, Sega. I'm not sure if it has Dreamcast. Um, but yeah, I am about to post a decent amount of Deadpool and Wolverine, I hope, and the trailers drops this weekend. Yes, I have a decent amount of Deadpool books, but they're all books that were popular before the movie spec, and I don't think I want to get rid of them because they're going to keep value with the movie or not. So I don't have any of the new hype shit, which is a little surprising because I do have a lot. It ain't nothing from the last few years. It's shit from like 2012, 2013 and shit. Prelude Deadpool Corpse. So I'll show y'all the two books I got. I won a $30 Amazon gift card from Evil and Trav and them. What up, Birdman? I'm gonna eat my sandwich. I'll show y'all the two books I got. I think the biggest I have are two Circle Chase number ones. I have one Circle Chase number one. That's a good one. So I got another one of these. Kid Venom number one per. And I found this in the back issues. This is Whatnot One Publishing. Thank you variant. That was pretty cool. I paid a couple bucks for it. I paid $5 for the Venom. I sold my other Venom one per. That was what I made the most money off of so far, besides the mystery box. Michael Baker bought a bunch of one pers for like 120, 140 or something, and I got one back, and I got $30 Amazon. I'm thinking about getting like 10 or 20 top loaders from Amazon, or a necklace, or I was even looking at knockoff Transformers. Yeah, Baker came through in a clutch. I still got some killer books to sell, but I feel like it'd be nice if people bought like a $20 mystery box, $40 mystery box, and it'd be easy to satisfy people that way. Even if they saw a $75 mystery box or something. I got a couple slabs. I'm gonna restock the pool. Um, so I got the Momoko one for 9.8. I got that one. Kill Squad 9.8. So those are fun. After I smoke a cigarette, I will eat. um, I like satire and comedy. I was thinking about doing an auction where I just belittle everybody for being poor, but it might come off the wrong way, and I might not get invited to auctions. So maybe I shouldn't, but hopefully people could take it as a joke. I don't know. I look like the loser asking for money for books, telling people they're poor too. I have to put myself in perspective. You got to be considerate of that shit. There's some really cool well, not the coolest. Amazon has some decent stuff. They don't have everything it's not like eBay, like a bunch of back issues. So it's taken me a day or two to figure it out. I got to make a clip for all of the words. My boy Ricky came on the Collector Club Friday, and I'm gonna be on his comic collector championship circuit, and I'm gonna be battling another collector. I'm not gonna tell y'all who. I do know who it is, and it's a pretty big collector, and it should be fun. So I'm gonna do that tomorrow after I get my thing tore off of me at 1:30 or whatever time, and think about doing a hangout Friday night because I need to get my watch hours up. I've been playing Tekken. Tekken's been pretty good. I got up to Divine Ruler, and I feel like I'm super comfortable there. I'm not skipping matches. I'm battling whoever over and over, and I'm going to rank up higher than that. I'm going to get past Divine. I'm going to keep going, see how far I go. It's going to take a while. I got D ranked once, but I'm already back at Divine Ruler. It's not that hard. I could you. It's pretty much you make one or two mistakes around. As long as you don't make one or two, and I need to back up and let people come at me instead of just a backflip. Like I need to be a little defensive and capitalize. It's easier to punish off of a block than it is to just punish off the rip. So I need to work on that more. I'm gonna get some food in me and take my med. Been trying to be nicer to Melody. I've been trying to be working on like being. I bought her that Miyu, and I need to spend more time and try to be nicer and fortify the family shit for now. That would make me happier than anything is if I can appease her for somehow. But cheers. This is an Italian sub, add pepperoni, only mayonnaise, and a cup of pizza sauce. It's been my go-to for about 2 weeks now. My LCS had some decent condition, 15-cent Superman. Pretty nice condition for like $3, $5, shit like that. I'm probably gonna pick off those so I can have some nice older Superman stuff. And once people start getting their tax money, it's gonna take about a month, I guess. I'm not gonna force it right now. I'm not gonna force it. It seems very hard to sell. I watch auctions and everybody will go around and nobody sells anything. So I used to be the guy like I don't care what I get, I'm gonna take what I can. And I can't do that with these because I won't have shit, and people will give you not much. So I'm not with it, bro. I know it'd be, oh, just set your limit. Well, you'll just be setting your limit and sitting there then, you know. I like those magnetic slabs that are on Amazon, but they're 2 for $35. I would already got them, but I only got $30. They have 1 for $20. I don't know if you could like take 20 off the gift card and use the other 10. I'm wanting to spend all 30 at once, or like 28 or something, you know. I am planning to sell in March, and I am curious how long that will go. Hmm. Do you mean like how long it will take for you to sell everything, or how long until March gets here? The good thing about how the live itself will go, will people show up, and will books move. I did one on my channel, and I had one friend at the end of it say they would buy all of it, but it was just too much to push on my friend and ask for a lot of money. So I went and sold some, and it's still a little bit too much to just push on them. So what up, Spider? Good to see you. So I feel like that's good. At least I had something, but it wasn't a lot of people making offers, bro. People want big keys for little bit of money. They ain't buying like minor keys right now, I don't think. Or they want brand new shit. They want shit that came out last week that's 1 per 100, you know? Both times I've been on Bleakers, I sold something. But I don't want to try to take all his clientele because he probably needs that money when he goes to sell shit. He's got plenty of shit he needs to sell and ain't sold yet. So I don't want to just, oh, can I sell on your channel? Can I sell on your channel? My boy Madness, ever since Tekken 8 came out, he's been periodically he'll send me a message like, check out my customs. But I haven't seen him. But we were talking about maybe selling together. I hop on Sands sometimes. I hopped on Sands once, and I don't know what the best fucking way. I saw TM was gonna give a bunch of his books to the library. I wouldn't do that. I'm not giving anything. I mean, I did a bunch of giveaways when I was pushing my channel. I don't regret that because I've received a bunch of stuff over years. If you go watch my playlist, you'll see all the books I gave away. I probably gave away 20 books a giveaway 20 times. Probably 400 books or something. I gave away a long box full or so. Some giveaways are harder to get than others. I'm working on seeing if I should just give up on trying to get some of the giveaways I was told I'd get, or if I should give them shipping money or give them buy something from them to get the giveaways. It's been so long now. It's like I don't even know if they're still there. I checked in on it like 2 months ago, and I was told they were still coming, just taking a while. But I've heard like other things now, like you might want to send shipping money. So I'm not going to bash anybody or say anything bad, but I think there's a lot more. I've been winning shit without even knowing it. Also, like I won the $30 gift card, and that was nice. I won something else recently. What was it? Oh, I won those slabs, and I won a bunch of shit on Bleaker's giveaway. So that was cool. I agree. I'd probably sell stuff cheap. If I had stuff that was just back issue dollar books, I'd sell those for $1 a piece. But I collected a bunch of minor keys. I gotta make like $5, $4 a shot, hopefully three at the least. But I just can't sell them for $1. I sold like a 20 book lot of Silver Age DC for like $20. I can't keep doing that shit. That motherfucker was good, bro. That shit was tasty, on point. There's an Italian sub, add pepperoni with a cup of pizza sauce. Journey. Nicholas. This is my diabetes medicine. Fuck. Jardiance, Lasartan, Lotripol, and Amazepam. Heartburn. I always gotta look at them, make sure I'm not taking double of one, because one of the tabs look like the other tab, but it's a little yellow. The Lasartan and Jardiance look alike, and they'll ask me when I check in, "Are you diabetic?" I'm like, I don't know. I really don't know if I'm diabetic. What diabetic am I? You know, like I'm not sure. Um, I was told I had diabetes, like one or two, but it wasn't the diabetes you have to take insulin. It was like pre that. Cutting pizza with the diabetic. I don't think pizza sauce is that bad to eat, is it? I don't know. I know bread is probably the worst thing I've ate today. Bread and mayonnaise. Um, at least it wasn't like a fucking Reese Pieces or something. I can't have any sugar, right? I ain't eating any sugar, am I? Italian sub pizza sauce. I don't know that pizza sauce. I made pizza sauce at the place that I just bought this from, and pretty sure that it's salt, maybe a little sugar, but it's not a lot, bro. It's not like a piece of chocolate or something. It's just pizza sauce. It's mainly water and tomato paste, seasoned packs. So, what do I do now? Pizza is not good. It's not. It's pizza sauce. Okay, whatever. It's just pizza sauce, but alright. I won the annual battle, and Steppo clearly had bigger books than me, right? And I haven't said anything about why I think I won. Steppo thought it was because of my charming personality, which I don't. No, I don't. I'm not saying I don't have one, or my yeah. You know, I think Steppo has a great personality too. Now, if you rewatch the battle, there was a point where he was showing superhero reprints, and they were oversized, bigger books. Technically not annuals. Just saying. Just saying. I tried to show a 48 pager. Technically not annual. You know, so theoretically I think I showed the more basic annual books. So I feel like it didn't matter who has the best book at that point. If you're showing consistent books under the category, then it's the sugar in the sauce. That's the problem. Bro, I'm allowed to have a little bit of sugar. I'm not allowed to have a lot. It's just pizza sauce. Man, you guys are vicious. So this is zero, no sugar. I do eat sugar. I mean, I'll eat like gummy worms. See, I had to keep up with my ALC. I just had a bunch of blood tests, and I don't know if you've seen this journey, but I am attached to a heart monitor right now. It's on my hip down here. It's zero sugar, bro. All right, so what was we saying? What am I talking about? What we were talking about the battle, and then we were talking about the food. Oh, the ALC. So that's why I was diagnosed as second diabetes 2 or whatever fuck, is because my ALC, my sugar level was at like 13.8, or then it got up to like 14, and I was almost in like a diabetic coma level. Like I was this close to should have been in a hospital when I was big and fat Biggie Shack. I don't want to fucking die, bro. Right now, uh need someone to argue with. Yes, I'm not trying to die. I'm trying to keep my family happy. Nothing's more important to me than family right now. So I'm trying to keep the family happy as much as I can. So streaming on YouTube probably ain't the best thing, but they kicked me in here. So I've been working on trying to appease everybody, and fucking when they want we need a Biggie 181 too. No, I know, bro. I'm not gonna force the 181. I'm not gonna make a big deal out of it. I'm chilling right now. Okay, my ALC was at like 14, right? I quit eating sugar. So I went in periodically. They diagnosed me. They gave me metformin. And I don't know if you ever heard of metformin. It's a dietary pill people get for diabetes. I took that for a while. Took 2 or 3 a day. I couldn't handle what they prescribed me. It was like 4 a day, and I didn't drink. I didn't put an ounce of sugar in me, like candy bar, gummy worms. Completely quit drinking regular pop. I still haven't drank regular pop for a fucking year. That's whenever I was like, yes, I lost 100 pounds. That was like the beginning of what, 2023 or something. I lost like, I think it was 80 to 100 pounds. Once I told myself I'm not going to eat any sugar until my ALC is back to normal, right? So after 6 months of dieting, I was down to like a 7. Okay, 7 or 6 or something. 5 is normal. 5 is normal. So I went another fucking 6 months. But after that first 6 months, I was in an extremely dangerous place. So after a year, when I got to like 5.3, 5 is like you're not eating any sugar at all, like zero hardly. I was at like 5.3. That's when I said, okay, I've regulated my shit. I'm going to eat like a bag of gummy worms, one bag a day. You know, that's basically like a can of pop if you eat a bag of gummy worms. So I fucking I went a whole year, no sugar, no sugar, nothing, 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 nothing. Got my shit down to like a 5.3, and then I started eating, and ever since then I've eaten a little bit of sugar. I probably put on 10 or 20 pounds since I lost 100 pounds. I went from 210 to 230. So I guess I gotta lose some more weight or something. I need to get in the gym. I just looking so you don't die. I want to. Yes. I was just saying we getting on about sugar comics or how we know each other. It's been cool 5 6 years. Comics take a backseat to health at that point. Yes. I'm fairly normal now. I'm a little crazy, but it could be worse, bro. Like if shit don't, like, I need shit to start straightening out instead of getting more crooked. So I'm just working on that. So I think we'll take a look at the books that I want to sell, and then some new books I'm going to add the um to the I'm going to sell lot, right? And I can drop the link in the chat. Y'all don't have to join if you don't want to. I'm just being friendly. So, oh, here comes the phone calls. What up, Ryan? Good to see you, Big Ryan Riley.
So I got to make a different day.
We got Journey up.
What's going on, Biggie?
What is up?
Hey, listen, I wasn't writing that shit to troll you, man. I was fucking looking out, man. You don't know half the shit they put in that fucking food and those sauces and all that shit that you eat.
No, I hear you, man. You do know that that's like a very minute amount of sugar for a cup of pizza sauce, though, right?
You'll be surprised, dude. You'll be fucking
Yeah.
surprised. You know that the Subway shit, man, that you eat a lot? That
Well, I'm not eating
you have no
Subway.
idea how much sugar is in that fucking bread.
Oh yeah. It's not Subway though. It's a regular pizza place. It's like a local joint. I used to work there, so I kind of know how much sugar goes in it.
All right, if you've
It's
seen
like a
what goes in there.
it's like a 10-gallon jug, right? You put two or three big cans of tomato paste. Then you put like I think 2 or 3 cans of water, and then you put a little bit of seasoning, and then more salt than sugar. You put salt in, and then you might put sugar in. I'm not sure.
Usually, a lot of the pizzerias put sugar in their sauce, unless you got like a tangy sauce. You know, I don't know how tangy it is or how sweet it is.
Yeah, it's a. I mean, in a 10-pound jug, it's like it's less than you would put in a jug of Kool-Aid, pretty much.
I would hope so.
Yeah, a lot less. Like you're talking 1 gallon of Kool-Aid, right? This is a huge fucking thing, so it's very small. But anyway, so yeah, I appreciate it. Zero sugar, zero sugar. If you're diabetic, you shouldn't have any fucking sugar. So I get it. But
Yeah, that's basically what I was saying. Yeah.
yeah. I'm not.
You're a young dude, man. How do you fucking have diabetes, man?
Well, I pushed it to where I was damn near in a way too high of a level where I almost needed to be put in a hospital, and I came out of that. My anxiety now isn't from the food or my diet. I don't think it's from just pressure around me, like trying to keep.
Stress could cause diabetes.
Oh,
I've heard
okay.
that.
I
I've heard
don't
that.
doubt it. Yeah, I don't doubt it.
You caught me at the
Cigarette,
perfect time. I'm eating a slice of pizza right now as I'm talking to you.
delicious,
Yeah,
delicious.
stop for lunch.
Did you like? Are you at a school right now? Is that what you're doing?
No, I just stopped at a shopping center and got a couple of slices of pizza
Uh-huh.
so I can get back to work.
So I'm kind of dealing with what you've got some um, experience with. Is why I think that I'm so fucking weird anymore. Is like trying to keep a happy home with my girlfriend, and keep. We've been together fucking 20 years, right? It'll be 20 years
Okay,
in December. We split up
that's a
for like
beautiful thing.
a month and a half out of the 20 years. Um,
That's good.
yeah, well, I'm happy. I'm always happy. I'm a happy dude. I'm not happy with the way a lot of things are going, but she might be going through some personal hormonal shit, and I'm not the most exciting boyfriend or whatever, but I'm at the point like we got a 6-year-old, like we just gotta make it work, and I try to still be nice, but she's got other factors kind of dealing with her and mixing in the the fray, and
Was she going through menopause?
something like that. Probably yes.
Hot flashes and all that stuff?
Not too much of that. Just the just a little not caring. You know, just a simple "I love you" every now and then be nice kind of deal. But so when or how or when you and your lady broke up, did it fuck you up bad or am I? Because I remember when we broke up for like a month, I went manic.
I'll tell
Like
you
I
something. It didn't make me happy.
didn't make you happy.
It didn't make me happy at all. No, but you know what? For me, it was like more like you know, it was more like I felt like seriously, like like uh, she didn't cheat on me or anything like that, but like it was like you betrayed my trust. Like I thought we were in this for the long haul,
Yeah, you
but
get old. Yeah.
that people change over years. You know what I'm saying? That what they want in life is different. What she wanted in life kept changing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
No, I'm the same dude that she married. A little more mature, obviously, but you know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Same guy. My goals, my principles haven't changed. You know what I'm saying? I
Yeah.
didn't get woke.
You
I stayed
didn't
the
get
same
woke.
way I was. Yeah.
Mm.
I don't like keeping up with the Joneses. I don't like. I do my shit, man.
Yeah.
My
I'm.
ex was more into that. You know what I'm saying? Keeping up with the fucking neighbors, doing this, doing that. And I was like, fuck that, man.
Well,
That's
it's
not
always
me.
something fucking money oriented. Yeah, it's always something like that. I've noticed
You
that
know,
too, man.
I was working like a fucking animal from the morning to night. Come back, I had no fucking life. And like I felt like everything I was doing was like going down the fucking toilet. Like there was no like appreciation for anything.
Yeah, that's comforting to hear from someone else because I feel like it's pretty much. I mean, I whenever we was working all the time, that wasn't easy to deal with. You don't have no time together. You want to do things together, but the time you spend together, it's just fucking small amounts and mostly not the greatest.
Well,
You
I'll
know?
tell you something. The first thing and the most important thing is that you guys talk.
Yeah, that's why I should
Like
be on the internet all the time, bullshit with y'all too, brother.
uh, uh,
And that wasn't part of what happened with you though. You was free from this bullshit. You was just busy at work, right?
yeah, I was busy at work. I didn't have, basically all my time was going to work. You know what I'm saying? But listen, is it all my? It was all her fault? No, it's my fault too because like I should have said, you know what? Fuck this. I'm going back. I'm going home an hour earlier. Enough is enough with work. Whatever. I should have tried to make more time. That kind of thing. But I got caught in a rat race.
Yeah, at the same time, like we think of things that we could do different, but like if the other person would have taken the time to be like, I understand and I care about you no matter what, that would fucking help too. So it's not always like one person's
Oh yeah.
fault, and it's a double edged fucking sword. Like, okay, so
Listen, very rarely, very very rarely is it ever just one person's fault. It happens. If a person's a maniac or psycho, all right, that with medication and shit, they're like trying to kill their family. All right, that's one person's fault. You know what I'm saying? But rarely is it ever one person's fault. Usually, each person makes their mistakes. You know what I'm saying?
it's a double edged sword. You could work and work and work, or even if you're home, then you start hearing shit like, oh, I'm always around them. I feel like I'm being smothered or trying to keep me away from shit. Which one is it? You want to be part time? You want to fuck? It's there's never a fucking
It depends on the woman. You know what I'm saying? Every woman's different. Every woman's different. But I'll tell you something. Number one thing doesn't matter what the reason is. But the number one thing is you need to communicate. If you're not communicating, you're not having conversation with each other on a daily basis, You're not talking to, you're not telling each other how you're feeling and all stuff like that. You're done at that point.
No, I know, and I'll try to talk, and it'll be, well, you don't want to hear what I'm going to say, and I'm like, well, if I don't want to hear what you're going to say, then that means it's got to be bad, you know. So I want to hear something good, you know. I just want to hear something good. Can I hear something good? That's all I want to
Listen, it
hear.
doesn't always have to be good. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, talk openly. You know what I'm saying? Go to
Yeah,
bed with your heads at ease. That you let it all off your chest with each other. Don't go to bed with secrets and being upset with each other. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying?
I mean, even if it would end, I just want to feel like I at least tried. You know, as long as I'm trying and I'm communicating and they understand, because once it's over, it's over. It's like there ain't no listening, and it's gone. So I just try to take appreciation or take advantage of having it while it's here. So that's all I'm doing.
Listen, in all honesty, if you really want to have a serious talk and you really want my insight and my input, talk to me offline. You know, I don't want to put out all your stuff in the
Yeah,
public. You
yeah,
know,
yeah. I'm not saying nothing too crazy. You know, we're good. I mean, nobody split up. If we was fucking having real problems, I'd be a fucking mess right now. But I'm okay. I got me a heart monitor joint today. What do you think of that? What is these called? Halter monitors? You ever seen one of those?
what the fuck is wrong with your heart now?
I've been telling you I got anxiety out the ass. Here,
And you need your rhythm is up. Is that what's going on?
well, I got to get it checked before they diagnose me with anxiety. Like it could be a heart issue, you know. So I got this thing on my clip, right? And then I got like all this shit on me. I got all that. I got to turn it back in tomorrow, and they're gonna see how my if I have like a bad ticker or something. You know. I also had an EKG test ordered, but I think this is gonna be good enough. I got like 12 vials of blood, so hopefully I'm okay. Like I'm 42. You know, people in my family. There's been a couple pacemakers in my family tree. Uh, there's a couple fucking heart attack issues. My mom didn't smoke cigarettes, so she's never had issues like that. But she ain't feeling the greatest.
Well,
My grandma.
cigarettes is artificially causing you the problems. You know, it's not like naturally a health problems. You know, you're causing the problems, not genetic with the
Well,
cigarettes.
genetics matter too, man. They do matter.
Oh yeah, but like if you're smoking, it's not like oh everybody, my whole family's fucked up with hearts, and that's why. No, it also helps if you're smoking 2 fucking packs a day. You know what I'm saying?
I smoke about a pack a day. I used to smoke about a pack and a half. I've been cutting down.
It's a lot. Listen, you know I smoke like a fucking chimney myself. You know what I'm saying? It's not something
Yeah.
we should be doing.
No, you never. You have. I mean, you're obviously not as anxious as I am. Like when I'm sitting in a waiting room, I get anxious enough to where I think I might have to call 911. I might have to get a hold of somebody and make let them know. Like all it would take is a one sharp chest pain. I'm like, oh, I'm having a heart attack. You know.
Listen, part of the reason I smoke too is because I have anxiety, and I'm on edge half the time. But you know what I'm saying? What the fuck am I gonna do? Well, what are you gonna do? Are you gonna let anxiety fucking take your life over?
Right.
Just do shit and get it all. Like it's a long time ago. I said by worrying, it's gonna make my situation worse. Every time I got a problem, every time I got something that's gonna cause me anxiety, I look at it and I say to myself, you know what? Instead of worrying about it, I'm gonna figure out how to fucking solve the problem. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's, instead of taking all that energy and all that anxiety in your life, put it towards something like that's gonna actually solve that problem. You know what I'm saying? That's the way I look at it.
Yeah. I just gotta keep letting Melody know like you're really important to me and my son's important to me and you know, let her know I'm not gonna ever give up on them and just keep trying to make them happy as best I can. That's all I can do.
Well, you got to also look at your dynamic, your home, your lifestyles. You know what I'm saying? Like
I
I
would
don't know what she works, right? She works full time.
No, not right now.
No.
Think
So
about
both of you
school
are. So you're around each other a lot.
around each other a good amount of time. Yeah,
Do you ever think about getting a job to like get yourself out there a little bit to just cause a little bit of separation and missing each other a little bit?
I do. I think about. Well, she's probably gonna be going to school by the end of the year. We're thinking about she's gonna go to school, and I was thinking about maybe trying to get a job out at the prison, like a prison guard kind of deal. But
Holy shit, you'd be a scary fucking prison guard with that fucking beard.
I don't want to be like a minimum wage worker kind of deal. I want like a good job. So we'll see. Even if
Listen, whatever it is you do, and you're earning some money, it's better than just fucking not doing anything. That's the way I look at it. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, well, my mom was talking about like maybe we'll start a storage unit lot, or maybe I will do like a comic book thing or something. Who knows what the fuck we'll do, but we'll figure it out, man. Even if I was just like a landlord, that'd be nice.
Well, you got the basis and the start of it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we just gotta fix up this one or two roofs, and we can start renting out more property.
It
Maybe
seems
raise.
like you like you. It seems like you like fixing shit too.
I'm not the best at it, but I'm pretty handy. As long as somebody around me can tell me what the fuck to do, yeah. So
Maybe you want to go to like some kind of construction guy or something like that. Work under them for a little while to learn some shit. You know what I'm saying? And then you go up
Um,
on your own and do your own shit.
yeah,
That's how you
I
learn the best. You go under somebody that actually knows what they're doing. You learn as much as you can while you're under them, and then you do your thing.
I would like to work from home. And what up, Cup? Cup's wishing me the best. What's it say? I've been divorced for a little over a year now, after 15 years and raising three kids. Once they grew up, she cheated, and I am took everything like CJ said. Thought it was the long haul, but evidently not. Sucks.
Listen, it took me. Listen, am I still bitter a little bit? Yeah, absolutely. It takes a while. It's been a couple of years since it's happened for me. So like, it's not fresh, but it's still fresh. You know what I'm saying? My wounds are still a little open. You know what I'm saying? Haven't fully healed, but it is what it is. You know, life. My kids are good. They're
Well, yeah.
healthy.
After a few months and years and shit, you probably aren't as bad as you was the first few weeks or months.
You know, as long as my kids are good, they're healthy. Fuck everything else. That's all that matters to me. You know what I'm saying?
I'm very much a bitch. So when we broke
And then
up,
you go,
dude, huh?
and then you go get laid a few times, and you get past it. That's how it
Yeah,
works.
you gotta get your dick wet. That makes sense. I never did do that. Never did go try to fuck someone else. Never cheated. Nothing like that.
Well,
I, I
I
feel
never did either. I'm talking about after the divorce. You know what I'm saying?
I feel like that's the weak way out. Like the easy. Like I could have. There was a few girls that like was there and wanted. I just for me like what makes me happy is knowing I lived my life a clean, good way. Like and that's the best kind of love is the kind of love that means something, not the time you fuck a girl and then a week later you fuck some other girl. I never thought that was like when I seen other guys. Oh, I fucked her. Yeah, but you got a girl that cares about you right there, and you're out cheating on her for what?
Well, clearly that girl didn't mean anything to them if they were out doing that. You know what I'm saying?
Right? That's what I'm saying. Like, that's just stupid.
No, listen. I look at it like this: if you got somebody at home that you care about, she satisfies you in all different ways. You know what I'm saying? Besides just being your wife, you know, physically, everything like that. She satisfies you. Why are you running out and going looking for other shit? Is there going to be somebody else that's hotter that's willing to bang you? Of course there is. There's always going to be somebody else. But what's the point? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and
You're only asking for trouble.
that's the best you can do in this life is be loyal to one and treat them good. In my mind, like if you're out here trying to get extra, then you're a dickhead. What up, 90?
As long as it's mutual, that's it. It's got to be mutual. Because I know guys that they cheat on left and right, and they sit there being loyal, and they become the biggest saps in the world. So that doesn't work out well either. There's got to be a mutual respect.
I don't know, man. This world's a topsy turvy world. In the media, that's all you see anymore is how much you can fucking get out of your private parts, and it's disgusting to me. My mom probably does it the best way. She hasn't been in a relationship in like 5 or 10 years, and she ain't looking to be in one because she's happy by herself. My grandma was that way. It's, at some point you just got. I mean, I want to have a married girlfriend, raise my kid, be happy till you die. That's the dream, you know.
Listen,
But
I think that's the ideal thing for a lot of people. It doesn't work out for a lot of people. For a long time, I thought that was going to be my life. You know what I'm saying? But it doesn't always work out for everybody. And when it does work out, it's a beautiful thing. You know what I'm saying? When you see people married for 50, 60, 75 years, you're like, good, look at that. There
that's
actually
the
is real fucking love.
thing. Yeah, that's the thing to be most jealous of, not the dude that's got 15 girlfriends. It's the one that's
I'm
having.
never jealous of that. I actually admire that more than
I mean,
more than have
admire.
envy. I
Yeah,
admire people that are able to make a relationship last like that.
it's very admirable.
But you got to find the perfect person with you. Listen, there's all the relationships that are married like 50, 60 years, and they're gonna kill each other. But yeah, like they got those relationships where they hate each other, but they can't live without each other. So like you got like weird combinations. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's pretty crazy to think you're only gonna be with one person your whole life, but at the same time, like, how many people do you
Yeah,
expect?
you ever see that old couple that all they do is fight with each other?
Yeah,
But then all of a sudden you say something negative about one or the other, all of a sudden they become a tag team against you, and then they go back to fighting with each other. It's like what the fuck, you know?
and everyone's fight like
That's not healthy either.
yeah, I want it to work. I'm going to try to make it work, and that's all I can do is just try to make it work. So it's not a goal for me. Like I knew what it felt like as a kid, not having my father, and it would kill me for my kid. Not I want him to have the mother and the father. I want him to have that security. So I'm just willing to damn near do anything for that.
That's the ideal thing. But but just remember this. Just remember this. Staying in a relationship and both people, mother and father, are both miserable. Not a happy relationship for the kids. You know what I'm saying? To be around.
Is it is
So
yeah,
you
well
got
it
you got to try to make it work. You know what I'm saying? The one of the
yeah,
reasons
yeah.
why my marriage lingered for a few years longer than it should have was because we were trying to stay together in order to make it work for the kids. You know what I'm saying? But what are you
Yeah.
gonna do if like there's an environment you're in a house and you don't talk to each other and the kids see that? You know what I'm saying? They're like, why does mom and dad talk to each other? You know what I'm saying? They're not. They're ignoring each other.
It's just hard for me to figure it out. You sound like you're about like I was, like you never wanted it to not work. There's one that don't, one that does.
No, I did want it to work. That's what you don't get.
You did.
I did, and
That's
I
one of
had
the
my
things.
marriage, and I had my marriage linger for longer than what realistically it should have,
Okay.
because I wanted to make it work. You know what I'm saying? I was
Yeah, so
willing to tolerate shit. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, that's it's about how I am, bro. It's like I definitely feel like I want it more, but
I'm also old school. If my ex never asked me for a divorce, I would have never asked her for one. I would have stayed miserable for another 50 years.
I
But
don't
what
know
she
that.
said, but what I think she bluffed, to be quite honest with you, because I think she said it to make me like jump through hoops in order to like try to make it work. And at that
Okay.
point, I was already checked out mentally. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
I'm like, all right, fine. You know, that's it. And I
yeah.
saw like after that happened that she just tried to backpedal a little bit, but it's too late. Once in my mind, once my wife was gonna tell me she didn't want to be with me, you don't want to be with me, fine, don't be with me. That's it. No,
Yeah. Yeah. It's true. Life is stupid, bro. It's dumb.
listen, there's a lot of shit that goes on in life, man. Just you gotta take it as it comes and be like level headed about it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Always, I always tell everybody, always try to make it work. You know what I'm saying? If you're sitting there bickering over frivolous things and stuff like that, get past it and make it work. If it's serious shit, that's a different story. You know what I'm saying?
Right. So, how did you like your episode on Only Slabs? You have fun?
Yeah, I had fun. I always have fun with Rob. I fuck around with him all the time. So
I feel like
I
they
feel
were
like
rushed. I feel like they could have took. They take time with guys. Why were they rushing you?
they had some show that they had to do after
Yeah.
with Triple
What
G.
was it? Triple G.
Yeah,
Who the hell's that?
I don't know.
Who the
I have
fuck
no
is
idea.
Triple?
Oh, the guy in England, Triple G. He's like an older guy. He shows statue shit and they talk about comics and all kinds of. He's all right.
Okay, I don't think I know him.
He's all right. Hey, it worked out good, man. I could have showed another box of fucking slabs if they wanted me to, but I wanted to show the weird shit that it was gonna make them pissed off. Like, why would you show the good shit?
No, you showed some. You showed a couple books I didn't know about. At least three or four. I liked a lot. What was your
Well,
favorite book?
that was the plan. Like, I really wanted to show books that your average collector hasn't really seen or don't even really know about and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Stuff that's a little different than collecting. I love my Evil Ernie collection. Anything Evil Ernie, I love. What else? Uh, I was showing you that Asia book ahead of time. Like
Yeah.
I'm so fuck. That's my new favorite book that entered my collection. I'm like, that's. I don't know what the fuck it is, and because I don't know what it is, I like it so much.
You're one of those guys that like to say like, I only paid $50 for this, or I only paid
I
twenty
love
bucks.
it.
You love
Love
that
it.
shit. I'm
Love
not
it.
that
I'm a.
for that.
I am a fuck. You give me a situation where I could get something at a like a ridiculous deal. That's my like way of collecting. Even if I don't want it, even if I don't fucking want it, I'll get it because like, look, you know that that Wolverine I showed you, that Wolverine one that I showed you that was like a 4.5 that signed the double sign. You know how I got that? I didn't even tell them how I bought that. I bought a lot of comics off of eBay for like $50, and I had like I'm not exaggerating, like 15 Silver Age and Bronze books, good stuff, man, like really good stuff. Even like some Golden Age, like Millie the Model Golden Age stuff. I was like, what the fuck? And I bought the whole thing for $50.
When I first started collecting, I did that a lot. Like I'd be like, "Oh, I got this for $20." I gave myself a limit because I watched people like Metarog, and Metarog would say like, "I never spent more than $20 on a book or some shit." And I'd be like, "Wow, that's really cool," you know. And then I got to a point to
Oh,
where it was
I've
like, I
spent
want.
stupid money. You know that I've spent stupid money on comics, but
Oh yeah,
I don't enjoy spending stupid money on comics.
yeah. But I got to a point to where I busted that barrier, and I was like, all right, I'm never going back to that. But there for a good year or two, I'd get like 10-cent Superman or 10-cent Action or that was my thing, was 10-cent UC. And I got I got like the first Sentinel for $20. It was beat up. I got the Submariner Iron Man 1 for $20. So there's a lot of books under $20. I got a really cool Tales of Suspense, Captain America, one of his first Silver Age books for like $20 and shit like that. First Origin or something. But after a while, when I first started doing YouTube comic books, not everybody had every book like they do now. Like, one person would have a 300, one person would have a Harley Quinn, one person would have, it was kind of like that. Now
Well,
everybody,
yeah, there's always been people that had a bunch of stuff, and there's still a lot of people that don't have a lot of stuff. It's just that your circle expanded. You met more and more people over time, and you became more associated with people that have like real hardcore collections. You know what I'm saying? So you'd be surprised how many people have bonkers fucking collections out there, like really crazy stuff. You're like, holy shit, man! You got like a first Robin just sitting at your home. Like, I know people like that, but like, what the fuck? You know, you
no,
just
I
have it
know.
sitting there loose, not even slab, nothing. Like, what the fuck?
It took a few years, and then I finally started running into people that had everything. But at first, it was just a small little niche group of people, and we all just had it. I remember when I saw my boy 84. He showed a Wolverine 1, the Frank Miller, and I was like, "Oh my god, that's a Wolverine 1." It was kind of like that because we didn't have shit. None of us really had shit. But then you meet people that kind of have. I remember when I met Hialeah. I was like, "Oh my god, this guy has a GSX and a whatever." Like, he had a bunch of Hulk 181 or something. I don't even know if he has a 181. But he had a really cool bronze collection. I was like, damn, someone has a bunch of bronze books. That's really cool. Most people were collecting like Batman shit when I first started collecting. Like, they would get all the Batman stuff they could. Those were the big collectors. A few ASM 300
I'll
guys.
tell you. I'll tell you how like I got like myself into like really like getting into that whole thrill of the hunt kind of a thing. When I was a little kid, and when I first discovered a comic shop for the first time, I was allowed to go. My dad would give me like $2, maybe $3 to take with me. So I didn't have a lot of money to go buy a lot of stuff. I could either buy 3-4 books at 75 cents or 60 cents when I first started. The cover price was 60 cents on a comic. So, or I could go to the quarter bin, or even better, the 10 for a dollar bin. So they were 10 cents each, and just go fucking berserk. So I was a big Hulk guy, and I would, dude. When I'm telling you, I'm not exaggerating. I had a handful of 180s. I had a handful of 181s, all with the cover. You know how they used to rip them off from the newsstands where they cut off the title and all that shit?
Copies. Yep.
I had a bunch of those because I would just get them for a quarter or 10 cents. I didn't give a shit. I was a Hulk, and I was like Wolverine and this and whatever. And I would get all the Eternals. I got a whole set of Eternals and a bunch of new gods for a fucking quarter each that had a Jack Kirby signature on it. And I didn't realize that was the case until I was like 15, 16 years old. And I actually realized, hey, this signature actually looks like Jack Kirby. You know?
Oh my gosh.
So it's this place right here where
You know,
land, right?
I don't know what it was called. I don't think it was Candyland.
Yeah, that's what it's called.
Okay. Yeah, I thought these 48 pages were annuals, but apparently they're not. No, I love remainder copies because they're still complete books. They're just missing the header.
anything that had 10 cents, 12 cents, or 15 cents on the cover, I didn't give a shit what it was. And it was like $1 or less, I would buy it. I didn't give a fuck. And by the time I got in my late teens, I had a serious collection. Like, I had some serious stuff that I was getting just because I was buying shit that I liked. You know what I'm saying? So I never really like changed my collecting habits. The only difference is I could afford more stuff as I got older. So that's why I collect the stuff I collect, and that's why I always have the thrill of the heart. Like I find something, I get so excited, like as if I was a 5-year-old still, and fucking found like the most amazing comic ever, just because it was at a good deal. I don't know. I just feel like that. So
It is.
you got a lot of
It's.
collectors have similar stories as me, though.
I didn't get to have a bunch of books when I was younger. I only had a few, and my biggest. I collected toys for a long time before I met y'all. I still got a bunch of toys. What up, Dope? Yeah, Dope's been making some really good videos lately. I always like his pickups he gets. I saw you got that Spidey Super Stories 25. That was a book that I want to get that one. I've had it. I need to replace it. I also want. I think it's number 9, the first Black Spider Woman. That's a good one too. But yeah, I started
See,
collecting comics and then fucking with y'all. I started wanting to get bigger shit. Pretty much. What you gonna say?
I I would put my comics in shoe boxes. And when I got to like 14, 15 years old, I probably had about like 6, 7 shoe boxes full of comics at that point. And that's when like I was working more and I was actually making some money, and I started getting more serious about buying shit. So that's when I started going to long boxes and short boxes. Up until my early mid 20s, and that's when I kind of like cut off at that point.
That's cool, man. I was into just.
I only really got back into comics. I mean, I would jump into the comic shop every so often just to see what's going on. Maybe pick up a couple copies here and there. Take my son there to take a look at it, or maybe take him to like Borders or Barnes and Nobles and pick up some stuff off the newsstands. But nothing like every month going for my comics. I had to stop doing that because priorities. You have life, you have other expenses and stuff like that.
Well,
Didn't get back into it fully until he got really into it. He got me back into it again.
your kid did.
Yeah, about like 6, 7 years ago, he was like getting like really like into it, asking me all these questions, wanting to read stuff. So he pulled me back into the hobby like hardcore.
I'm very competitive and I'm very self-conscious, and I don't like people like we were talking about. I haven't worked in a while and shit like that. I see people that have great jobs, great lives, great books, great this and that, and I just want to be able to be like, yeah, you got a fucking 9.8 of that, but I got a 3.0. And if it wasn't for meeting guys like 84 and D-Runk and Doc and other people, I wouldn't be as wanting to do this. There's my man Collecto6, fantastic collector. He's going to be on Mon's Friday night. Looking forward to that interview. Mon does a great job. So I met all you guys, and you guys kind of helped me out. Discovery Bay. Discovery Bay talked me into getting a PayPal. Like, I didn't want anything to do with credit cards. I didn't want to go in debt.
See, I'm not really.
Go ahead.
See, I'm not super competitive when it comes to like, oh, this guy's got like I don't know, like a Action Comics #1 or Detective 27 or something like that. I like that. I appreciate it, but I don't give a rat's ass, about that stuff. I'm like, actually, I don't get impressed easy when it comes to like buying something for money. I don't. I like the story more than the money. You know what I'm saying? Because like, if you got the money in your pocket, you buy it. It's easy. You know what I'm saying? It's simple. Uh,
I
Hunting and finding something out of the fun. If somebody tells me I found the Action Comic #1 in a fucking barn, that impresses me. Like, what the fuck? Like that shit like that gets me like excited. It's like the whole like hunt of the hobby and like the feeling like finding hidden gems and like all that kind of stuff that really gets me excited. Buying them straight out doesn't get me excited.
well, that's part of it. Is like I'm not financially as great as other people, or whatever. But I do like I enjoy seeing the underdog win. You know, so if I can inspire anybody, like Ryan Riley, he tells me all the time, like he don't have the biggest books, and I'm like, bro, you could fucking do it. You could. I was just like you, dog. I'd watch people and I'd be like, wow, that's cool. I want to get that. I want to get that. And it's mainly because of shit you're saying now. It's going out. Like my LCS is the same LCS it's been for fucking 30 years. I still periodically go in there and check and see if there's anything new that's came in, or maybe I missed something or some new spec, and I take advantage of it, you know. And one time I was looking for wrestling belts to AOK out to people. I went to an antique shop, and this antique shop has nothing to do with comic books. But I went in there, and they said, we just bought a storage unit of a comic book collection. We have 2 stores, and we are loaded with comics. And I said, oh, well, I know a lot about comics. I could help you figure out what you have, and, you know, I'll show you what you got that's worth money. So I got to go through all of their shit like day one. And without that, I wouldn't have nothing.
See, that's a fun story.
Yeah.
Like those are stories I like to hear. You know, stuff like that. Like right time, right place. You knew what to do at that right time in the right place. Like when you got that Fantastic Four. What was it? The last one you got, the 48 that you got, that you
Yep.
were like really go. Okay, so when you got it, I was happy for you. I'm like, oh, that's a great book. You got it, and but it wasn't like I wasn't impressed by it like that. Oh, you went
That's
out and bought it. You went you spent the money and you bought it. I was more impressed by the fact that you found that first Gambit annual for like $5. I was like, look at this. That I like that. That's the story I like more. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I found a bunch. If you'd have known me 4 years ago, you'd have been pretty impressed with the shit I was getting. Like I found a Jimmy Olsen 134 for $5, like an 8.0.
Yeah, that's the kind of shit that gets me excited. Like oh man, that's awesome. That's a great story to share. You know what I'm saying? Like I
And
would everybody likes to make shows. I would love to have like a show where like a bunch of collectors get together and they trade stories of like the fun, the fun of the hobby. Like I found this how I found it, or this how I traded to get this, or like I went to this weird city and look what I discovered there. You know, like I'd love to hear stories like that. Yeah, that's interesting to me. You know what I'm saying?
I think the next collectors club. I've been thinking about doing this for a while. I just got to get all the crew together before I announce it. But we are going to start. I'm going to see if they don't mind trying this out. Is we're going to go from the day it's announced until the next show. Your best $5 find.
Oh
So
man, I could give you a freaking million of them, man. I got
yeah,
some good ones.
no,
I
bro,
could
it's gonna be from
I
that
could give you
day.
two.
Be from
I
the
could give you
past.
$2 and $1 fines, man. Like they'll blow your fucking mind.
It would have to be from that day, though. It couldn't be from the past.
Oh, you're gonna say a specific day?
Yeah, you start. We start this Friday coming up, and whatever book you
Oh,
find.
to go digging for stuff from this day
Yeah,
forward. That's what you mean. Oh, I got you. All right, that's interesting. It's
yeah,
hard,
I think
but
that'd
it's
be fun.
interesting.
We'll see who has the better shops real quick. Like if Lady Fantastic was in the fucking competition, obviously she gets crazy shit for $1 or $2. I don't get that much crazy shit, but I might find something that could win. You know?
See, I wouldn't even go to the shops. Like if I was in that, I would like I get local comic shows that happen every month around my area. I would just go to the shows and pick up something crazy.
I know I do. And you broke it.
Yeah, I think that'd be fun though. Like I've seen people do a dollar bin competition. I don't know that people could get access to dollar bins, or I would do that. But $5, I think they could get stuff for $5. Like today, I got that one per shop Kid Venom. That'd be a nice $5 book.
I don't have that many dollar bin places anymore around me. I got a few places like with $2 bins, stuff like that. Like I got this place that I gotten out of the $2 bin. I've got a beat the shit Avengers 10 annual. I found a Whitman Star Wars 1 through 5. Crazy shit. Obviously not mint condition, but dude, even a beat the shit copy of those kind of books, I'm more than happy to buy for fucking $2 a piece. You know?
Yeah, me too, man. If any DC 12 cent, 15 cent, I'll pay up to $4 for almost every time if they're there.
It's especially if it's like Batman and Superman and Flash and like Green Lantern. Like if it's those kind of characters, all day, every day. There's some
Yeah,
other shit that like I look at. I'm like, do I really want this fucking shit metamorpho? And I don't know.
a lot of the time getting these books, it just takes time. It just takes time. A lot of time. Like right now, for me, it's not the most productive. I'm not getting bangers every month. Whenever people were buying First Nova's Marvel 1 points for $30, I was getting bangers every month. Right now, people
You
ain't
got,
doing that.
you kind of gotta let them come to you. You know what I'm saying? You can't like force the situation. You know what I'm saying? Like I get people who call me up every so often, and they're like, "Hey, are you interested in buying a collection or something like that?" I'm like, "Depends." Like I could, I'll buy the collection. You're probably gonna get more money if you go piecemeal it out and sell it to other people and stuff like that. Like if I'm gonna buy a collection, there better be some really cool shit in there if you want me to pay anything decent for it. But if there's not, I'll buy anything. But I'm just not gonna give you a lot of money for it because I don't want it. You know?
If it doesn't, hi CJ, if it isn't something that you really want, there's no point buying. There's a zillion million books, to buy. There are a lot of them that you would really want to have, and I would say focus on the ones that you really aspire to, not just sort of fall into, right?
Oh, I'm definitely with you. But at the same time, I'm one of these suckers in this hobby where if I don't like to see comics not have a home.
Oh, that's
So
true.
like if I see somebody that has a bunch of long boxes or short boxes, and they're like just like run filler books or like shitty books that nobody really wants, and he's gonna end up throwing them away at the end or something like that. You know
Yeah,
what? I'll take it. I'll give you $10 a box or whatever the case is for them. I'll give out a bunch of them on Halloween to kids that walk through that come to my door, and like maybe I could put a bunch of bundles together, put them on eBay, and maybe record my money like that, and stuff like that. Like, I don't mind sitting on them for a long time because I'm not a dealer. I'm not a
no,
professional
me
guy
neither.
that sells this stuff.
Me neither.
But at the same time, if I see an opportunity to be able to make some side money, just because it's there,
Pick
why
it
not?
up. If it's lying there, yeah, pick it up for sure.
Why not?
Definitely so.
Like
I like though the idea of that if you actually have a collecting goal, as far as if you've got some sort of idea of what you want to do, uh, money is not infinite, and so if you have to make decisions, especially if you're picking up the bigger books, what are the ones that what are the ones that you really want to have, and you should be thrilled over the moon if you're going to get a book like that. In other words, rather than I can't be sanguine about buying a book. Just say, "Oh well, I just had to buy a book." That's no fun at all. I don't think.
yeah, that's how I feel too. Like I don't feel like it. Like I don't get joy out of just buying a book. Like for me to go on and like I don't know, like 181 has been like I have a mission in my head. I want to get a copy of it, but I refuse to pay over $1,000. It's in my head, and I'm gonna find one eventually. I've kind of came very close over this past year to do it.
You'll get there.
That's what's gonna make my story for me to be able to get it that way. You know what I'm saying? To
I
cut
do.
a
I
check,
know exactly what you
to,
mean.
to, cut a check for $2,000 to get it. It's not fun for me.
No.
It's just not. It's not fun. I want to get some fun out of it.
Truly.
And I'm a stingy bastard too. So I like to crunch my pennies.
They had a 1,200 best offer 181 without a stamp on eBay like 2 weeks ago. I showed the guys in the club, and it's getting closer to that value. Now, most people say if you're going to spend $1,000, you better have a stamp, but it's still encouraging to see it around that value. You know, like
A few months ago, I got a guy to come down to $1,200 on one of them. That one I regret because it was a good, a decent shape one. It was like 3.5, 4.0, something like that. It had the stamp, and I'm like, nope, it has to be $1,000. I'll give it to you right now. That was my mindset. I bluffed because I thought the guy was gonna take it because
Mm.
I started counting money in front of him, and he walked away. I was like, son of a bitch. And then I didn't want to double step and chase him to say, "Oh no, I'll give you the 1,200." I was trying to be prideful, but I should have grabbed it. But it is what it is.
But you try to make a deal. I've done that at conventions. I stopped doing it too, but I'd go to a convention, and the first table I'd go to, there would be a book that I want. I want that book, but it's a little more than I want to cough up for it, right? And I'm looking at it, and I put it down, and I go, well, I'm going to come back at the end of the show because he'll be more agreeable, and I'll be able to get my price. And I come back in an hour or two, and of course the book is gone. And so I did that a couple times, and I said, look, if it's close, then you have to say, do I want $35 or $100 to keep me from getting that book? And then you say, fish or cut bait. And a lot of times what I did is I would step up. And of course, in 5 or 6 months' time, the extra money that you paid, it's appreciated past that anyway, and you're just laughing. So I just say, do you want to let $50 or $100 keep you from having the book that you really want? And I've always said if I can swing it, I always would swing for the fences and give them a little extra, and let appreciation catch up.
And it depends on how obscure or how rare the book is too. I mean, that's important as
Yeah.
well. Like if it's something that like a I don't know, amazing number 300. I'm not gonna cry if I miss out a deal on
Well,
that
there's
because
a
I know
million. You catch the next
yeah,
bus. Catch the
yeah.
next bus on that one. Yeah.
But some of the stuff that you pick up in your collection that it's more eclectic stuff that you really can't find. You might find one a year. That
yeah,
you
that's
kind of
because
like
he takes
that.
within the
That's where I'll pull the trigger. Like that's where I'll say, you know what, Biggie's seen me. I paid sometimes what I believe may even be ridiculous numbers for books, just because I know it doesn't exist.
Yes.
I won't find it again. And not only
No.
that, I bring it back and I do my show and tell with everybody, and everybody's like, "What the hell is that?"
I
That's
just
exactly why I bought it, because nobody knows what the hell it is. That's
But
why.
you know. But the key is that you know what it is. That's the thing.
Well, sometimes I buy stuff and I still don't know. Like right now, I bought like a few weeks ago. I bought this book. Biggie knows this book, Asia number 15, and there's nothing on it. Nothing. It's a golden age book. I'm thinking it's got to be Matt Baker because it looks like Matt Baker. Number 14 is by Matt Baker. Number 16 is by Matt Baker. That one, 15, for some reason, has nothing on it. Like zero information. Other than the fact that we were able to discover on Key Collector that it had a date of a publication. That is it. It's
do you,
really weird. But
can
I
I
like that. Like the whole like figuring out what the hell that is kind of gives me a little bit of excitement.
I
Yes.
want to I want to see I want to ask to see one book from Steppo if that's okay. Just one. Not that I'm not going to go Batman one. I think you showed this book whenever I
You
got
want to
off.
look? You want to see my Brainiac?
I already have it. I wouldn't mind seeing that again, but there's another book I want to see before that. I want to see that First Gentleman Ghost again because when you showed it, I was off.
Oh, sure. I'll go get
Okay.
it.
Oh, I love this book,
Yeah, I
Journey.
like the way Steppo actually picked up his Batman
You know, he
because
didn't
it was.
sell like a lot of his stuff you would think. He sold like obscure stuff, which makes it even more commendable
That's
for
what
him.
I like. He didn't have to give up anything that he loved to get it.
No, well, he loved them all, but you know, he got rid
Yeah,
of obscure.
well,
We wouldn't even know he got rid of. Like the stuff we think of, he's kept. He kept all his
there's
stuff.
different levels of love. You know what I'm saying?
Obscure stuff is great and it's fun, but if you can get rid of obscure stuff to get stuff that you love, then you're doing really good. That's how I started. I would sell my obscure stuff.
Not for me. Like I'd rather keep my obscure stuff. You know,
Yeah, I bet that's
like like there's some mainstream books. They like people want to have them in a collection, but me, if I trade them, I give a shit. You know what I'm saying? If I'm getting something cool that I want, you know what I'm saying?
Have you ever heard of Gentleman Ghost before?
Yeah,
You have? Yeah,
yeah.
he's in like Brave and the Bold and some other stuff. He's a DC
I think
character, but
I think he was even one of the animated ones. I think they actually put him in one of the animated shows.
hmm World's Finest maybe. It's a Joe Kubert uh, creation, I believe. Well, he did the art. Everybody always argues with me about creators.
Yeah, I was never
Well,
really a fan of that kind of stuff, but I've heard of him.
oh boy, I can't. Check this out, bro. You're gonna love this. I love this kind of stuff.
Okay, I got one thing I gotta do.
Oh yeah, no
Steppo, you
problem.
got to describe it a little bit to me because I'm driving and I'm not going to be able to take a good look at it.
Let me get rid of this comment.
Look at all those
This
fucking short boxes you got behind him.
this might be one of my favorite Joe Kubert first appearance covers.
So organized.
He's got a hell of a setup going in there. If
Yeah,
I
it's nice
could,
and organized.
there's only if I could put it into comprehension, he's top 5 collection I'd like to see. If I could go see 5 people in a community, he's top 5, maybe top 3.
He's got a great collection. Obviously, Alan has a great collection. There's a guy called Dragon that's a girl now. He's got a
So
good collection.
Doc has a
Doc has a
Doc.
great collection. He's
Yeah,
got a freaking scary good collection.
Doc, Steppo, and Allen are my top 3.
And the thing about Doc's collection that's very admirable is actually it's very high grade.
Well, actually, I think Steppo's might be a little higher, but Doc
Really,
has
is
some.
it?
I would think some of them. Oh
I've
yeah,
seen some big books. I've seen some really big books that he has in very high grade. I was really impressed with him.
Doc has more 6-digit books than most people, but
Yeah.
still has
But
quality.
he consolidated down from a whole lot of the 6-digit books. He gave up an awful lot of 4-digit and 3-digit books, and,
Yeah.
to basically do that, he consolidated down to a really the nucleus of what he has is just a lot of guys prefer to do that, to basically get them down into I don't like the word, but it is an appropriate word, is curate it down.
Okay. Yeah, he's used that word. Look at this.
Actually, I'm on the fence of doing something similar for my collection as well.
That's not it, is it? Is that it?
This is the first Gentleman Ghost.
It is the first Gentleman Ghost. Wow.
What's the name of that book?
It's Flash number 88.
Damn.
Flash.
It's just the Gentleman Ghost. Kirby, Kubert came up with the Gentleman Ghost to go up against Hawkman and Hawkgirl, he in his first appearance, he sort of disappears and he's this highwayman. Just like later on, it wasn't quite clear exactly what he was doing, but Kirby evidently liked him, or not Kirby. Kubert really seemed to like him. So what he did was he brought him back in Adam and Hawkman, and he brought him, and then the cartoons picked him up, and I really like the character. He's not tremendously evil, but he's a crook, and he likes.
I was right. He was in the cartoons, right? I couldn't I was telling that to Biggie. That I was like, I thought he was in one of the animated series.
Yes, and they do a good job with, and they did a good job with him too.
That's where I remember him mostly from.
But this is a ghost. This book is it took me a long time, and I had seen some real, maybe one or two that were very, very low grade, and I said, well, unless it's something that's pretty, I just can't do it. And so then all of a sudden this one showed up, and I made it my mission. I didn't have a hell of a lot of competition for this, but I did have to pay up some for it. But it's just a very unique first appearance of I would say a third tier villain, but a third tier villain that I really do like.
What is the grade? I can't see it. My live.
It's a 9.0.
Oh my god.
It's a high grade book.
Holy shit.
Stepo, how much of a stickler are you for grades?
I'll tell you what. To a large degree, I have found because the grading has become so hard on books on CGC that they're so hard on books. My floor level used to be around a 6, but I have found 5s and 4s and even 3.5s that the book is beautiful. And I'm looking at this, I'm going, what am I missing? But somebody, and then the way I look at it is this: somebody else got screwed sending it in to be graded, and then they got them get hammered by it, and then that puts that grade on it. And so then I say, well, I look at the book and I say, if the book is pretty, then I'm okay with it. I'm not absolutely hard and fast, but I have, my books have to be complete, and they have to be, especially if you're paying any kind of money for them, they have to be pretty. I haven't bought new books, that is to say, rank and file normal modern books at all anymore. I do buy the modern variant Good Girl covers periodically because they're so wild, and if I had seen covers like those when I was a kid in the '60s, I don't know what they would have kept them behind the counter. I know that.
Hey, Stepa, what issue is the first Golden Age Solomon Grundy? All
Uh,
American.
that's All American. Is it All American 60? I think.
All American 60. I'm trying to find it, and it wouldn't just let me look at it by saying first Golden Age. American 60.
Stepo, are you a fan of the Dave Stevens Good Girl covers and the early
Absolutely.
Adam Hughes stuff?
I love Adam Hughes, and I when Dave Stevens passed away, I knew Dave. I had a chance to get to know him.
Oh, lucky you.
Well, he was out here in our area. I was at a convention, and it was on a Sunday, and it was not very well attended. And so he was their guest. He was one of their guests, and he was just sitting by himself. So I just pulled up and I sat down and talked to him, and I basically spent an entire, mid morning and afternoon just hanging out with him and listening to him tell his stories and everything else. And just awfully nice guy. It was very sad what happened to him.
Yeah.
This is
61.
I admire his work.
I do too. He's a wonderful good girl, and he fought hard for Betty Page to get some payment. Where the Irving Klaw and all those guys she had signed everything away, and so he made it his mission. Just like I have had great respect for Neil Adams for what he tried to do for for Siegel and Schuster on Superman. He put his notoriety and his popularity on the line to try and help those guys because he thought they'd been screwed, and he put his money where his mouth was. He spent his political capital very strongly with those guys to try and help them. I really admired him.
I say this about Adam Neil Adams all the time. Every single modern artist right now, even writers, they need to build a shrine to this man, regardless if they liked his attitude or not, or how disgruntled he was with like new people. They need to build a shrine to him and thank him for actually getting decent paydays today, because it's because of him that all started.
Yes, he basically used his popularity and I would say at great personal expense to him to do that. But he had I had a chance to sit down with Neil when he came out here to do a book signing. I was the CGC witness at the time, and he got there and he started invoking old Warner Brothers cartoons. He started quoting old Warner Brothers cartoons, thinking that no one would know what they were. It's just, what is this wacky guy talking about? I, however, made a study of old Warner Brothers cartoons as a kid and even as a young adult. So I knew every single episode he was talking about. And then he broke into song and I broke into song with him. So here we are singing cartoon songs. And all these people are standing around waiting to get their books signed. And then he sort of sat, we stopped. He looked at me and then he saw me for the first time. Then he stuck his hand out to shake my hand. He says, "It's a pleasure to meet you." And then the rest of the afternoon, it was a hell of a lot of fun. I know that he got he got pretty tired and he could get irascible at shows and stuff. He didn't suffer a lot of the idiocy that goes along with that. He would sit still, but he wasn't, you know, after a while. And I also didn't think he didn't feel particularly well at that time either.
Unfortunately, I didn't have that much interaction with him on a personal level, so I can't say or deny anything that people have said about him because I had heard my stories about him, them being like he's an asshole kind of a thing, and
I've heard
all
him.
kinds of, you know, especially with our young artists. Like I've heard stories about him literally disassembling brand new artists and like burning their dreams before they even get a chance to get in the you know, in the comic world. But I've also heard some really good things about him. So I can't say anything good or bad about it. All I could say is based on his work, you know, he's on my Mount Rushmore as far as influential comic book individuals.
He was influential not only with his concept and his art, very specifically and fantastically, but also that he would actually use his bully pulpit and his popularity to deal with that, to help and to do stuff. And I think that the fact that he shelled some of these early artists, I almost have a feeling it's like that might have been what happened to him. And I think that he appreciated the fact that someone basically spoke the truth about what their art looked like and said, look, you're going to have to do this or else you're wasting your time, because this is not an easy business to make a living at. And I don't think that it is, frankly, unless you're a big, you know, you become a big dog, but you got to make it through being a little dog before you can be the big dog.
Yeah, tough love kind of thing. And, you know, some artists are fragile.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
He's definitely he switches for my second favorite artist from, of course everybody knows Kirby's number one, but for my number two, it switches day to day from Neil Adams and John Romita Sr. Those two are my number two. I can't
Don't
give
forget
either
Joe
one up.
Kubert.
Hubert is my fourth. I do enjoy Neil Adams and Romita Sr. A little bit more. I feel like they're a little more refined. I like their style is more noticeable. Kubert is able to do everything well. He's like a Bureau. Like they can do everything well.
You know, I hate to put any of them in order because their styles are so different from each other.
Yes. Yes.
They're all so good in their own different ways. You know, I'd rather just lump like give you like, you know, my top my favorite 5 artists, no in no particular order because they're so different. Like Kirby's art. Is there really any other artist from that time period that looked like Kirby? No. You had a lot of people that emulated him down the line, especially in the '80s. You had a lot of Kirby type of enthusiasts that tried to use that style.
Mike Royer.
Yeah.
Well, my person I think that's closest to him is Al Milgrom. Al Milgrom. I just see he confuses me. I'll see an Al Milgrom cover and I'll think it's Kirby for some reason. But who did you say, Steppo?
I said that Mike Royer is one of the ones because Kirby's pencils, when you had a different inker, had an entirely different look to it. And when he had good inkers, there's nothing like it. For example, with Gil Kane, when Gil Kane did his own inking, his stuff looked rather stark. But when he had the combination of Gil Kane and Murphy Anderson together, like on the Atom, you had not only the action posing that Gil Kane, the movement that he could do, you also had Murphy Anderson providing the beautiful musculature.
I mean, he had some really great talent from that time period, and a lot of them get lost in the shuffle because there's so much other great talent out there. Buscema often gets overlooked. He was great. I mean, I call him John Romita Senior B. You know, Part B. He's very similar to him.
I'm leaving Kurt Sloan, Infantino,
another
and all
guy.
them all. too.
Yeah,
They're
Kurt Swan,
great.
Infantino. Do you know the interesting thing too? And you say, who is your favorite artist? And you can categorize them. That's sort of like saying, what's your favorite book? I can't say what my favorite book is, because is it a romance book? Is it a superhero book? Is it a horror book? I mean, there are and to a large degree, for me, as you say, what's a favorite book? I have favorite genres that I love, and there are certain guys inside the genre, various different artists that do it so beautifully that to pick I will say, for example, Alex Schomburg has to figure very prominently as one of my favorite artists of all time, if not the favorite artist of all time. For Alex Schomburg, for all of
Absolutely.
his covers and everything that he did.
But then you take him and put him next to like somebody like Matt Baker, and you say he was very talented in his own right.
Well,
So
that's
it's
the
like
thing.
so
I
it's so hard to
Yeah,
like
you
say
say
who's
good
better
girl.
because
Yeah, go ahead.
they
Go
just
ahead.
had their individual styles. That was the thing. They were just I love them all for what they
I
were.
think
Yeah.
I think this is a Rita cover, right, Stefo? This Captain America '78.
I'm not sure. That'd be an early one
I
for
think I,
sure,
I
from
think it is.
'54. If you click
Yeah,
on it, maybe you can look at the box. I mean, click on it and see if we can see the label.
it won't. When I click on it, it don't zoom in. But yeah, I can look at it myself. Hold on. It says John Romita cover. Yes.
Very good. That's an early Ramita.
So I was right. Yeah.
See, I'm not a
Yeah,
big
definitely.
Most
Spider-Man.
people think of
I'm not
Romita
a big
for
Spider-Man
ASM.
fan or a Fantastic Four fan per se. I was much more along the lines of DC, but then Captain America and Iron Man and Doctor Strange, okay, and Thor were the ones. And then they were and Ant-Man were my favorites. And then I never was an X-Men fan for per se, X-Men or Spider-Man. I just and I had them all around me. Daredevil was okay. In my first collection, I had pretty much all of them, but I traded all that away. I basically tried them all out and had them and read them and loved them, and then they went away, and then I restarted rebuilding in 1988, and that's when I went from being a completist to condition, and then also select titles and artists is how I approach stuff. Flash, for example, do I want Flash or Green Lantern? Well, Flash to me right away. Between the two, if you're going to have one, why Flash wins over Green Lantern?
Well, Flash is a cooler character.
I think so.
I hate even asking you this because it's such a huge fucking book to ask if someone has. You got a showcase for it though?
Do I?
Yeah.
I had one. I had about a 4 or 5. I had all the showcases and 105 up to 300 in my first collection. But all of that, everything went away when I traded. All of that stuff went. I had Tales of Suspense 39 on up. I had a mess of the Strange Tales. I had most all the Thors and Journey into Mysteries. A lot of like I said, all the Tales of Suspenses. But all of that stuff, the pendulum had swung to Silver Age from Golden Age in the early 1990s, in around 88. And so what I did was, the dealer that I went to was very sweaty to get my Silver Age. He said, I've got all this Golden Age stuff here in my store, and I'll give you a huge credit, and you can spend it how you like, and I'll cut you a deal on all this Golden Age. And I looked at it, and I just decided, I've had these since 1965. I think the Golden Age sounds more interesting to me, and I wanted to rebuild in a higher grade for the Silver Age stuff that I had, because all my floor level, because I couldn't afford any better, my floor level was about a 4 when I was putting my collection together. So that's what happened to that. I had all that stuff, and of course, having had it once, then it says, do you want it to replace it? And then the answer was, in some instances, yes, but in many instances, no.
It's a tough one. That's one of those ones that not a lot of people have ran across.
You know what the thing is? Once you have it, even if you willfully traded or sold it away, you kind of almost feel like you're content at one point with certain books. She's like, it was part of my collection. I had it. It went out to somebody else that wanted it.
Yes.
I'm on to new things right now.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. That's exactly how it went. And now that I am where I am and not selling anything, the market has, as I was saying before, if you spend an extra 50 or 100 or a couple $100 on a book, and you have the book in 6 months' time or a year, the appreciation will go right by it. Of course, that doesn't count if you bought it in 2021 at the when the
No.
when the huge bump was, then you're crying. But assuming that you bought prior to that and have been holding on, it's comic collectors can do very well by doing that, and things do retain their value if you're buying carefully. Things do retain their value, and which is more than I can say for a lot of stocks and bonds and the returns on stocks and bonds. I say real estate is another good area because there's only so much land.
When you
Well,
walk
you're
in
definitely
your
right
house,
about that.
do they don't have as many books as you do, right?
Who?
Your LCS.
My LCS doesn't have what now?
Like your local LCS, when you walk in the store, they don't have all the stuff you got, right?
He has a lot of good stuff. I've purchased a lot of stuff. He gets in collections all the time. I like comics. If you go online and check out new listings, he gets really nice stuff in. He used to do a lot more Golden Age, but the Golden Age stuff tends to sit a little while. The Silver Age and the Bronze Age do move, and that's so. So if you're in the business to make money, then you kind of alter your you fix your product mix for your customer base, and by doing that, it's bronze and silver have been and to a certain degree, of course, modern because he's got the boxes and stuff. But he gets stuff in that I bought several of my early Batmans from him. I bought my Seven Seas 4 from him. I bought the Captain Arrow and a whole bunch of Miss Furies from him. When he gets those collections in, then if I happen to be around, which I have been fortunately, then the good news is I was there. The bad news is it really put a dent in my wallet, but I've never regretted stepping up when a big one would come in, because down the road, you have the book and the appreciation starts to occur.
I like that Mon's going to do an interview with you Friday for like an hour. He's just going to sit down with Steppo and interview you. Has he gave you any heads up of what that's going to be like, or just
Yeah, he said he wants me to get 5 books, five of my favorite books each for Golden Age, Silver Age, Bronze, Copper, and Modern. And then he wants me to talk about. I said, my God, you're going to make me work. So I'll just basically pluck out 5 favorites of the different ages, and then we'll be talking about how I got into comics and stuff like that. But I've been into comics. I think CG. I think you might have said this. I learned to read with comic books. Frankly, I was motivated to learn to read because I wanted to know what the heck was going on in the comic. And so I was really motivated to understand the words. And my parents were surprised as hell with my retention. I mean, as far as reading, because I was motivated to learn. And when you're motivated and you have something, and that's why comics, I think, serve a great service with kids, is if they enjoy them. But there are so many other things. And when I was growing up, you were 3 television stations. You had your bicycle, you had a skateboard, you had your toy guns, and you had comic books. And it wasn't like you had internet or any of that other stuff as far as or video games or anything like that. You basically were much more on your own devices. And I can tell you this: when you read a comic book, the story that unfolds in your mind is so much better. I mean, the budget that the movies in your head are as you're reading this, as you have established that relationship between you and an author. For example, with the Flash and Barry Allen, I felt I knew Barry Allen. I liked him. I liked him as a guy. I liked the way he used his powers. He was a thinking man, much like Adam Strange. They were thinking men. And I like that. It isn't just berserker rage, run rampant, tear through a building, and then that's the end of the issue. You have a guy that has to dope stuff out and then try to make his powers do what needs to be done. The good writing back then and the editorial control that DC and Marvel both had. When you bought a Marvel book by Stan Lee as the editor, you knew pretty good idea what the quality was going to be. The same thing when you had Julie Schwartz running DC. You had those guys were the auteurs that basically were the overarching control, like the studio systems with the movies in the 30s and the 40s. But when everybody became an independent agent, all that stuff went right out the window. So there are writers that think they're artists and artists that think they're writers. But in most cases, neither are either. You have to have a good writer and you have to have a good artist. And the combination is better than just the one. That's been my experience.
I can get a grasp on most people what direction they're going and what I think they might want in their next pickup and shit like that. You and Alan are kind of hard to assume or whatever, because the books you guys kind of like are a little higher end and
eccentric
and
They're
not
eccentric.
not on everybody's radar. Like,
No.
Actually, I like the way they collect. I'm actually a lot more in tune with the way they collect more than like a lot of the modern collectors because of that eccentric type of collecting that they do. Because of the fact that they go for some quirky shit. Alan goes for a lot of quirky stuff. Like he goes for innuendo covers. He goes for good girl covers.
see, I wouldn't want to.
I have a couple here.
A specific
CJ,
genre he goes after. He goes after everything.
CJ, I have something just that when you talk about weird, I was looking on my comic shop, and as I was looking, I punched in Fox Features Syndicate, and then you hit in stock and see what they had. And Fox had a book I had never seen before, and this is like you're on bad acid.
The hell's that?
Whoa.
Snarky Parker. I never heard of it.
Snarky Parker.
Snarky
The hell's
Parker.
that?
But look at this art. Look at that picture. Is that the creepiest thing?
Is that number one?
It's a fever dream.
Is that number one?
I don't know if it's a number one. I think it might be.
See, I would grab that in a heartbeat because it's weird and it's a number one. I would immediately grab it.
Is that just? It's the weirdest. I'd never seen it. I said Snarky Parker, and it made it into production and was produced and sold as a comic. Snarky Parker. What do you collect?
Year was that?
I collect Snarky Parker.
What year was that?
Let me open it up.
I don't open it.
No, that's all right. That's why we have bags, right?
You know what? One of the most obscure and cringy comics I ever found in my life was Uchi Coochie number one.
I don't know if I've ever seen that.
Oh my God! It's like from the same school from all those old Robert Crumb books.
Oh, okay. This is from August of 1950, and CJ, it is a number one.
There you go.
Life with Snarky Parker.
That just fit two of my criteria for picking up a obscure book. It's weird, and it's a number one.
It was only like $35. I mean, it was, and it's in really nice shape. But I just said.
That's a no-brainer.
So it doesn't cost anything. The other one I got, which is I think really cool, and of course, the books from the war, because I am very much a student of history. The books that came out during the Second World War and even Korean War, for that matter, are of the era, and as the ages changed and the taste changed, and the attitudes toward stereotyping and calling a villain a villain, and you're not supposed to say bad things about people, and they try to say that how racist the propaganda covers were in World War II. And I always point out, I said, look, they were trying to kill us. They were trying to end our way of living. Why should I be polite to these people? Look what they did. Look what the Japanese did to China and Nanking. Look what the Jews went through in Europe, and we're supposed to moderate our opinions and our tone from those people? I don't think so.
I don't know. People want to be apologetic for
I
things that they
don't.
shouldn't be apologetic for.
I don't.
You know, like you're at war. There's, what are you supposed to be? Like all like kumbaya and friendly with each other? It's war.
Well, you'll end up speaking Japanese or German doing that.
Listen, I could understand. I could completely understand if you're on the losing side and be disgruntled.
Yes.
I could like listen. If I was German and I lost the war, I wouldn't be too happy about it. You know what I'm saying?
Well, they weren't
But
happy about the first war, and they got hammered so much with reparations they had nothing to lose but come out swinging for the second war. But I tell you this.
absolutely.
Go ahead.
Oh,
But
do you know who did?
they were
Go ahead,
I'm
Journey.
sorry,
I'm
we're
sorry.
co-opting your show, Biggie. Go
I'm
ahead.
sorry. Go ahead.
I'll,
I'm
okay,
driving.
I'll
I'm
talk.
not
Go
even
ahead.
watching.
I'll talk right now for a second. All right. So, who did Suspense 3 comics? Do you know who did the cover?
Yes, it's a combination of L.B. Cole and Alex Schomburg.
Oh my God! It had to be those two, right?
Yeah, I had a dealer that had a copy of this book, and I guess there's also part of this book. There's sort of a piece that they had to kind of cobble in. So a lot of these copies are incomplete. That they don't have the complete book. That some of the stuff that they kind of just sort of shoved in and kind of tacked in falls out. So you have to be careful. You have a full copy of this. But what happened was the dealer had a copy, and at the time I said, "How much is it?" He said, "It's $2,000." Now at the
Oh,
time that was the top of the market for that book. I said, "I'll take it."
okay.
And then I never heard anything. And then I called back a little later on. I said, "So I'm ready to pay you for the Suspense 3." He says, "Oh, I thought you didn't want it. I sold it."
Does
I said I wanted it. I said, "Oh, I agreed to the price, and you sold it out from underneath me." No, I didn't. Well, someone offered him more money. He took the money and he just said, "To hell with me." And that was that.
does it bother you that it was cheaper 7 years ago than it is now? Is that a part? Do you think that's why some collectors ain't like running to get this book? Because I don't know anybody that has it. Like,
This book is Ernie Gerber put this book on the map with his photo journal. He had it on the inside of the cover. I mean, it was sort of like in basically an effigy, and he extolled the virtues of it, and he really talked this book up. And people seen, and of course, Schomburg was on the rise at that time. L.B. Cole not as much, but Schomburg definitely. And the content of this cover really has it all. I think the Terrific Five also has a very nice cover. It's interesting that Continental Comics, which really was not that big of a company, Holyoke and Continental, Catman, and these were not huge companies. Yet the esoteric nature of these books very much is in demand, and to have them, and also the scarcity and being able to find a copy that's presentable. It's a very expensive proposition to own a copy of Suspense 3.
it feels like it's on the level of a Tech 27 and Action 1 almost.
Not quite. No, it's not there. But it is of it in its own PCH kind of way, as far as the esoteric part of the program, with an esoteric horror Schomburg cover, which is sort of unusual from a company that didn't produce a whole lot. It is an extremely valuable and desirable book for sure.
It's one of the top pre-code horrors.
I think so.
Yeah, I would think so too. I don't know many bigger than this one. I mean, Chilling 19 ain't close to it.
I mean, there's a handful of them that like are very, very notable covers that are out there, but this is in there without a doubt.
I put this in the range of like Marvel Mystery 1, Tech 27, Action. I think it's a ridiculously big book people want.
I don't think that it has. First of all, as far as the importance of the book, as opposed to the ones that you mentioned, those other books are far more important historically than this one. This one has the cachet of being a very spectacular cover with a good artist. But as far as it being something that actually started something like a Tech 27 or an Action 1, those things are historic as well as being very cool. This one's just super cool. I don't
Well,
think there's
You
not
see,
as much history. I'm sorry.
I see a book like this more as a bragging rights book for a collector more than having a book of significance. I see that with a lot of the pre-horror books that are out there. Like, there's a lot of these bragging right books that are great. You love having these books because one, they're rare, and you have it, and they're obscure, and it's something that the hardcore collectors know about. But when you go into the mainstream and like wider uh, collectors,
Zilch.
they don't know these books exist.
That's interesting. That's
I like
kind of an interesting book. What does that go for? Well, about $75,000.
They're like,
Oh.
they're like, fuck that. but if you
I
tell
like
them I got an Iron Man, I got the first appearance of Iron Man, they'll freak out. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like,
Yeah.
it's what people are into.
It's their frame of
I
reference
think
too, and how old they are too.
All
That's
American
another thing. But
61 is a top 5 golden age cover for me. Like I feel like
Well, I
it's
agree with you. I almost traded all of my bronze keys for a high grade copy of that book. I almost did, and I got talked
wait,
out of it. I mean all my big bronze keys I was going to roll in and buy that one book, and I
wait,
got talked.
that's the first Green Lantern, right?
No, it's first
no.
Solomon Grundy.
Oh, Solomon Grundy. Sorry, I
Yeah,
can't
as
see
far as
anything.
an epic, I mean, it's first of all, it's an unbelievably cool, I think, a beautiful cover,
Yes.
and it's rare. And there's a lot of guys that want this. And if you've read the story, which I guess you can online somewhere, it is a great story. And the Lantern takes a beating, but he comes back. It's really very heroic. It's very, very heroic.
I like the first appearance of Red Hood too. I feel like that's a top 10 golden age cover I like.
I had that one. I very wisely sold that book. I didn't think it was going anywhere at the time, and it wasn't. And I think I had a VF copy of that. I showed him. I sold it.
Yeah,
The one
They
book
Red
can't
Hood
from
push
is
that,
me around.
great books.
Yeah,
you
it's
know
a
which book I don't think gets enough love? I mean, it's a very expensive book, and everybody knows that book. But I think even for what it is, I think it's still undervalued. That's the first Robin. Was that 38?
Detective
Great book.
38.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's an expensive book, though. I mean, it's been
It,
discovered.
it is super expensive, but at the same time, don't you, I still think it doesn't get the kind of cachet that like some of these other books get for some reason. I don't know why.
Well, it should, because Robin is one of the most important Golden Age characters and the first kid sidekick. And he brought in, I mean, he was the very first. And from there, everybody had a sidekick.
I agree. I definitely
Yeah, I
agree
agree
on
with
that.
you too. Alan has it, and I know that Ryan at Automatic has it. And they both swear by it. I mean, those were big targets for them. And I have to say that I was at San Diego Comic-Con in 1996. It's the only con I went to, San Diego I went to. And I saw Stephen Fischler from Metropolis. And I knew Steve because we had become advisors together in 95. So he had a bookcase in front of him. And in the bookcase was some stuff, not very much, but there was a Detective 38. Looked like a VF copy. It was beautiful. And I said, boy, that would be one to have. So I went up to Steve and I said, hey, how you doing? Could I take a look at that detective? And he looked at me and he looked at the book. He went, no. I said,
No.
I said, no, I can't even look at the book. He says, no. I said, fair enough, Steve. Nice to see you. Good luck and bye.
Keep your grubby hands away from my Tech 38.
Keep your grubby
buddy-
hooks away from my book.
My buddy Doc
Don't even
traded
look at it.
in a Hulk 1 and all the number ones for a Tech 29 when I first met him, and he recently did it for Tech 27. But Tech 29 is just as good as First Robin to me. Like, I don't give a shit. Tech 29
No,
it's up there, but I think that the first Robin, in my opinion, I think that the first Robin has it over that one.
You'd rather have? I
Yeah,
mean, this
so
is
do I.
this is
Yeah.
the third Batman. It's pretty cool.
No, but the timing, the cover, and the importance of the cover. The other one that is Detective 31. Now,
Yeah,
you
which
put
the first
you put
ongoing.
30. Yeah, you put 31 up against 38. I would take the 31 because I like that
Wow.
cover image better.
Wow.
I would
See,
still take
I'm not-
I would still take the Robin, but I could see the argument for 31.
Now the Fu Manchu, the one that has nothing to do with Batman, I feel like that's pretty cool. Maybe a little cooler. Than
Number
this. I
one?
kinda like Batman 3 too, like the
Did-
first
You
Catwoman.
talk about Detective 1?
Detective 1 is the Fu Manchu big, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't know it was number 1, but okay,
Yeah,
we'll
that's
take it.
the Detective 1 is the Fu Manchu.
I
That's
like
a
the
big
Fu
book.
Manchu. Yeah,
It's
right
huge.
here. Doc had it. It's a great book. I didn't know it was number 1. That makes it even cooler. I like Tech 29. The cover's dynamic. It don't look like a regular Batman, and it's the first appearance of the villain. I don't know his name, but
Honestly, it's a cool book on a lot of different levels. That book, and it's very tough to find that book.
Depo has one of my favorite Batman covers. I don't know if he
I've
knows.
seen lots of 27s in my life in person. I've never seen that in person in my life.
I know how impressed Depo is with Batman 1, but I feel like this Batman is better than Batman 1. This thing is a lot of
Fred
people's
Ray.
favorite Batman.
Yeah, I think that's a
really
Fred
love
Ray, or is it Ray Burnley? I can't remember. I think it's a Fred Ray, I think, cover.
Well,
Yeah, that's
Batman
great.
1. Batman 1's all about being the first
Fred Ray.
Batman and the first Joker. You know, there's a lot of things going on with that book besides the
First
cover alone.
Catwoman, and it's the first logo. It's the first time you see the Batman logo too. And
Yeah.
Jerry Robinson created that, not Bob Kane.
Does that surprise you?
No. No. But Bob Kane's artwork is his Bob Kane's Batman when he's drawing. And there were Jerry Robinson ghosted him, and a lot of guys ghosted him. But frankly, Kane's work is very, very good, and he was able to cobble it. And of course, the way the first story started was he basically swiped stories from Walter Gibson's one of Walter Gibson's Shadow stories that had come out like 5 years earlier. It's almost a dead ringer.
I wonder if Ray Burnley and Jack Burnley is related. Probably not.
I wouldn't know. Well, guys, I got to catch up with you guys on this conversation another time. Actually, I'd love to continue this conversation another time, but I got to run to the appointment. So
good luck. Break a leg.
No, don't tell me to break a leg.
Oh, that's good luck.
All right. I'll take the good luck.
Okay.
I don't need to break anything right now. I need to make some money. That's what I need to do.
Take care.
Later, Jeremy. We'll wrap up pretty soon anyway. You're good, bro.
Have a good one, guys.
Thanks for hopping on. Yeah, I've been here for about a couple hours. I appreciate you hopping on, Stepo. I think we're going both right out into the sunset.
Okay. Good enough.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to your show on Friday with Mon, and then we'll be on Collectors Club, and after your Mon thing, it will be Alan's at 9, right? Yeah,
after Mon comes. Mon I think is the 9th. I think. My thing with Alan is he has his live chat tonight, so I'll be dampening his doorstep for the live stream tonight. I'm saying come on. I'm saying 7:30 Friday, Mon, and then after that you'll be on Alan tonight. You bet. Okay, cool. So catch my boy Stepo on Alan's tonight. What time is it at? I think it's at 6:00 Pacific. 6:00. 9:00 Eastern, I think. 6 Pacific, 9 Eastern, and I'll catch y'all later, man. We're just gonna get on out of here. See you, Big. See you, man. Later. Thanks, Stepo. Stepo's the best.
Big Biggie. Biggie.